I'm going to give you a quick historical perspective here. It used to be that doctors ran the healthcare system. Let me say that one more time. Doctors were in charge. They were in charge of the patient, and they were in charge of our healthcare. Slowly, insurance companies are taking control of healthcare. That is bad. Let me say it one more time. That is bad. I want these people, these men and women, to decide what they should do when we see them as patients. So, legislation, don't be fooled. The legislation you see is an attempt to bring all of these doctors under the control of insurance companies, period. And here's how they're doing it with this bill. If you're a neurosurgeon and you're at a network who's saving people's lives, and you go to a hospital now, and you've had 10 years of education and training, this bill reduces what you get paid substantially. Now, why is that bad? It's bad because these are our best and brightest people in the state. I'm going to say it again. These are the best and brightest. All due respect to Wall Street, because my friends who are doctors, their kids went to Wall Street because these doctors no longer are able to control the medical care of their patients. I am here to tell you that I will not vote for out-of-network or so-called surprise legislation. This is not about surprising the patient. This is about controlling doctors. And I will fight against insurance companies controlling doctors. I want independence in the medical profession. People talk about Obamacare and single payer. That's what the insurance companies want to do. They want a single payer system. I want independence for doctors. So let me conclude by saying this. The only way this system stays a great system is we allow doctors independence. And this bill does just the opposite. I want my doc to be my doctor, not the doctor for the insurance company.
Like Assemblyman Bramnick, I'm going to cut to the chase here. We all know that consumers worry about surprise out-of-network bills. And here's the key reason for surprise out-of-network bills. Not villainous doctors. In fact, a key reason is that insurance companies are selling network products that are flawed at best and deceptive at worst. I ask the media here, have you ever checked the directories of physicians in your own networks? And if you haven't, I suggest that you do. Because what you will find in too many cases is that the network directories include physicians who won't take new patients, won't take your insurance, aren't practicing anymore, don't live in New Jersey, or don't exist. Now, we, as legislators, demand that insurance companies own up to their phantom network products and deliver on the promises that they are making to consumers before fingering doctors as the culprits here. If we don't do that, regardless of how this bill is ultimately structured or what backroom deals are made with other interest groups, the reality will be that we will be inventing solutions that will haunt us for networks that are full of ghosts.
I just wanted to take a moment and speak with you about a little bit of history. And if history is any indication of what the future will be, then we should take heed. Several years ago, I'd say maybe 10 or even 15, I'm a little bit older, I was an aide to Senator Cardinale, and at the time we were on the Commerce Committee, and we were dealing with issues regarding OBGYN physicians and the cost of insurance. And what was happening is, if you were a gynecologist and doing business and taking care of patients, your insurance was X. If you were an obstetrician and you delivered just one baby, the insurance multiplied 5, 8 times. And so what wound up developing in New Jersey is we had a departure of obstetricians from New Jersey. The ability to get care from an obstetrician was becoming more and more remote. And finally, they decided, well, you know, if we don't do something to contain the cost of the insurance, we're just going to have midwives taking care of all the mothers in New Jersey. That was the lesson. What we're in looking at here today is something that's going to create the same problem, and it's going to create a problem for access. And if access is the issue, over and above the cost of it, we're going to have a serious problem. I have a bill that I've been asking the chairman of our AFI committee to bring up for a hearing. It's A 4178. It's the Cost Containment and Accountability Act. And this bill relies heavily on a robust peer review amongst physicians, and physicians obviously feel some sort of a threat with this other type of legislation that's being foisted on them. And I'm sure if they had the opportunity to review robustly amongst themselves when there's an argument about a bill, they could create a situation and a committee where they could rectify these things in short order. And additionally, it has to do with informed consent, so that when a patient comes into the hospital, they know up front, this is going to be a cost to you, this is what it would be. They have an option of whether or not they want to take that expense or they don't want to take that expense. This is another way that we can actually ameliorate the problem without having heavy-handed governmental interference with the physicians of our state. It's imperative that we consider this type of resolution to the problem rather than to go after physicians with heavy-handed regulation that will just cause an exodus.
My son will not come back to the state of New Jersey. He trained at University Hospital, the trauma center, and because we are making it unfriendly for young doctors to come back here. So he could choose to come back here or to go to Florida where his fiance lives, and he's going to opt for Florida. So, and he's a spine surgeon, and there aren't enough spine surgeons. We have a shortage. And what Assemblywoman Handlin said is also correct. There are the available doctors that you look for in your practitioners. It's a ghost list. You know, if we look at psychiatrists alone, there's 1,500 psychiatrists in the state of New Jersey. There's 172 who are able to take new patients. We cannot do things that are going to drive our doctors out of the state. We have established physicians here, you know, who will stay because they have families, they have practices. But as we look to the future and we look to our young doctors who we train here, who do an excellent job training here, we have top-rated training programs. If we continue to drive them out of the state, it is going to be the people of the state of New Jersey who are going to suffer. And so that's my opposition. And I look at the trauma center, you know, on a personal level. It's now the Eric Munoz Trauma Center, named for my husband. We cannot do anything to harm these centers. You know, when someone with Auth talks about having the ability to have informed consent ahead of time, at the trauma centers, we have the golden hour there. And if you are shot in your eye, you have ophthalmology come in. If you're shot in the head, you have neurosurgery come in. My son took care of more patients on the trauma service because they're shot through the bones. We have to be very, very careful here not to limit that care because that's so important. So the three key points are: don't drive the young doctors out of the state. As Assemblyman Bramnick said, the best and the brightest are going to medical school. We want that to continue. Otherwise, we will have average medical care. Number two, the list of ghost providers. And number three, to make sure that we maintain an outstanding trauma system within the state of New Jersey. We've set up a trauma task force. They're working on these issues, and we must continue to do that. So I just wanted to make those points as a person who knows very, very well the healthcare system in the state of New Jersey and where we need to make changes to improve the system, to keep it an excellent source of healthcare.